pregame show. Now the highlights continue with the Sixers in the Mile High City to take on the Nuggets, a team that's lost just 4 games at home this season. And no huge surprise, Nikola Jokic back after a 1-game suspension, getting the tough.
That suspension was bogus. NBA, y'all got to do better than that. That suspension was bogus.
Gary Harris, though, with the steal. Behind the back for the dunk here. Look at this.
Oh, that's fancy. That's that old school Chris Webber behind the back.
All right. What about Corey Brewer, you guys?
Hold on,
for the dunk.
Hold on now.
He's been huge for them, Brendan.
Yo, I didn't know Corey still had bounce like that.
I do have to mention, though, that this kick on Torrey Craig received.
Way to stay ready, Corey Brewer.
Jokic for 3, putting the Nuggets up 28-19 at that point. Then later in the second quarter, Mike Muscala to J.J. Redick, who does the same thing.
And J.J. Redick's going to be able to hit that jumper in his sleep for a long, long time. That jumper's pure.
Ben Simmons finished with 19 points, including those 2 that would cut their deficit to 2. Mason Plumlee to Gary Harris for 3 more. The Nuggets would lead the way 78-68 at the half.
I know they're glad to have Gary Harris back. He missed some time with injury, and when this team gets fully healthy, they're going to be scared.
Will Barton to Jokic, who drives under the rim for the bucket.
Little bully ball.
Jokic yet again. I mean, every single highlight, he's involved in some capacity.
He's a point center, and so he does so many different things with his team. He handles the ball, he scores on the block. He makes them a very tough team to guard.
Can't double team him at all.
There he is again. In the third quarter, Simmons to Redick for another 3. He had 22 points in this game.
Well, he makes Ben Simmons go. Anytime you put him beside Ben Simmons, it just opens up the floor. That way Ben Simmons is allowed to get in transition.
Look at that. You guys, well, hang on. You said you wanted to see Ben Simmons shoot some threes. That counts, doesn't
it? Stop it.
That did count, though.
It did count.
It is.
Man,
hey, what if he'd have made it, though? That would have been his first make.
Oh!
Jokic
Okay, Malik Beasley. Don't do him like that.
That, by the way, not just the incredible throwdown, but that assist would give Jokic the triple-double, his 7th.
Did you see the fro on the sideline right there? Somebody was supporting the Ben Wallace fro out there.
Hey, what was better, the pass or the dunk?
I would say the pass.
I would.
Because that's from the center.
I would too.
He finished with 30.
Did you ever throw me a pass like that in the
18
game?
rebounds.
I couldn't pass, but you didn't pass that much either.
Right.
And 10 assists. All right, when we come back, the NBA's All-Stars. Earlier this week, the NBA's All-Star starters were announced in each conference. So we're starting with the West. The Warriors, Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant. The Thunder's Paul George. The Rockets, James Harden. And in his 15th All-Star selection, the Lakers' LeBron James, who's also going to serve as a captain. We're going to get into that a little bit later. But first, the NBA's All-Star reserves are going to be announced on Thursday, the 31st, during TNT's NBA tip-off. You look already ready to argue.
You know I am. I'm ready to jump on y'all for some of y'all picks.
We have made our predictions, okay? So we agree on Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, and Klay Thompson. But we do disagree on which of the Spurs should join the squad, DeMar DeRozan or LaMarcus Aldridge, as well as whether or not Karl Anthony Towns should be an All-Star this season.
Karl Anthony Towns, no question to me, has to be an All-Star. When you look at what he's done this season, I like how he's responded after the Jimmy Butler trade. I think he's been more aggressive. He's out there averaging about 22 points, 12, 13 rebounds a game. So I think those stats, his aggressive play, they speak for itself. Those are all-star statistics. I'd like for him to win a little bit more, but at the same time, he's a young player in this league. He's growing, but he's definitely in the elite, and he deserves to be out there All-Star Sunday. What say you, Richard Hamilton?
Oh, man. Nah, I mean, for me, I'm going with Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. I think they're my guys right there. I think that both of them have been solid. I thought DeMar DeRozan is a guy that we didn't talk about a lot early in the season. I thought he was a guy that we could have been talking as an MVP-type caliber player, especially on the season, the way he's been able to create his own shot, and he was averaging a career high in assists. So even coming over to Coach Pop, learning a new system, he was still able to come out and be dominant on the offensive end. And then you got LaMarcus Aldridge, who's been super solid, been consistent the whole season, averaging almost a double-double. A guy that knows his role, knows his position, ain't trying to play like everybody else. Still one of the best on-the-block scorers that we got. So I'm going with them 2 guys.
You do, though, have to have somebody representing the Spurs there on this.
Always.
You think you'll get 2 Spurs, though?
I think they will.
That's my question.
Yes.
Because LaMarcus Aldridge has almost averaged a double-double, and positionally, he may have the edge to get in over DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I like DeMar DeRozan just because of what Rip said, his ability to score the ball. And this year, the career high in assists. They've used him a lot as a point guard to a certain degree because The young fella went down, DeJounte Murray, so they've had to use DeMar a lot more in a different role than he's used to, and he's responded very well. And the Spurs have been playing excellent basketball. They started off really, really rocky, and he's part of to me, he's the main reason why they were able to come back. LaMarcus is a big part of that too, but I think DeMar
needed him.
DeMar a little bit more. So I went with DeMar, and then I gave Karl Anthony Towns the slot I probably would have given to LaMarcus Aldridge.
Even with that bad game when Jimmy Butler came back to Minnesota?
It's one game. One game.
Okay.
One game. I didn't like how he responded in that game, but I will say I'm not going to say he's not going to be an all-star based off one game.
Gotcha.
That was relatively tame. Let's move on to the Eastern Conference.
We did all our real.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. It's a family affair right now.
Tapping them offset.
Oh, man.
Come here, real.
The Bucks' Giannis Antetokounmpo has been voted the captain, along with the Sixers' Joel Embiid, the Celtics' Kyrie Irving, the Raptors' Kawhi Leonard, and the Hornets' Kemba Walker. So again, we've made our predictions. We agree on Bradley Beal, Blake Griffin, Ben Simmons, Nikola Vucevic, and Victor Oladipo, who would now be replaced due to injury. But we disagree in some areas, and this one may get a little spicier in the Eastern Conference. Rip, I'm going to give you the chance first to defend your selections of both Jimmy Butler and Kyle Lowry.
Well, first of all, I'm going with Jimmy Butler. I think he's probably the second best player in the Eastern Conference. I mean,
whoa. Second best player in the what?
Eastern Conference.
Jimmy Butler?
Yeah. Why? Who do you think?
I got Giannis and I got Embiid.
We all got Giannis.
Embiid.
Embiid.
I got Kawhi Leonard.
Embiid's definitely the most talented.
Kyrie Irving.
He missed a lot of games.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, well,
yes.
So Jimmy's a difficult case, and the only reason I didn't include him in my reserves is because he did spend the first 18 games in Minnesota, because he did leave somewhat of a mess in his wake. Do you think that there should be anything counted against him because of that?
Not at all. I'm a big fan of him. I know his work ethic. I've seen him in Chicago. I've seen the amount of work he puts in his individual game, and that was the biggest problem with him, when guys are not, practicing and playing as hard as he would play. But I think he's a guy that now, when you add him to the 76ers roster, he's now their closer. He came in 15, 20 games into the season, and he still was their closer night in, night out. I just think, locker room wise, he's from a leadership standpoint, he's great, but also he's a player that can do a lot of multiple things on the floor.
Look at his face. Look at
Now, I have Jimmy Butler up there too.
I know.
I can't say he's great leadership wise, because he had some problems in Chicago, some problems in Minnesota, some early on problems even here in Philadelphia. But you know what? Some of that could be overblown.
Absolutely.
It could be.
Yep.
I don't really know. Sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. But I do have Jimmy Butler as an all-star. And my second guy is Chris Middleton. I think he actually should have been an all-star.
Chris.
I think he should have been an all-star last year. So for me, I think I'm trying to overcorrect a little bit, but I had a hard time coming up with who the last guy should be. So I went with Chris Middleton, who his stats are down from 21 points per game last year to 17 this year. A lot of that is because Coach Bud is playing a new ball movement style where he gets less opportunity, but averaging 17 points per game, being the second best player on the best team in the Eastern Conference, I put him up there as my all-star, because I think you got to reward winning.
That was one of the reasons why I chose Pascal Siakam. He's put up consistent numbers all season long on what has been, through most of the season, the NBA's very best team.
Right.
But you got to go. But even though you like him, I'm going with Kyle Lowry.
Okay.
He is the heart of that team. I mean, he sacrificed a lot this year, but also you got to remember, early in the season he was leading the league in assists. Now second in assists, but he's willing to do all the little things for this team. So even when they had no Kawhi Leonard in that Golden State Warriors game, he came out and led his team. So I think he is the heart and soul of this team. I think he's an all-star this year. Even though his numbers might be a little bit down.
Yeah, his scoring numbers are down.
A little bit down.
His assist numbers are up. His importance to the team is very important, because you see in the games where Kawhi doesn't play, they still win because they have Kyle Lowry out there. So if you're rewarding winning, I can see that. I don't have a problem with Middleton or Kyle Lowry.
I like Middleton too. I do.
I think I'm not sure Pascal is an all-star, but I do think he'll be up there
next
for
year.
Most improved.
Yes.
Most improved, he might get that.
Rewarding winning is also why I chose D'Angelo Russell in Brooklyn.
Oh,
one of the NBA's hottest teams since December. So we'll see.
I'm rooting for D'Angelo Russell. I didn't really
like. They caught a lot of teams off guard.
I didn't really like the way the Lakers disrespected him on the way out the door.
Agree.
There was a lot of comments made that
let him show up to Charlotte with a chip on his shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Well, but for the first time, the NBA's All-Star Draft is going to be televised, and on February 7th on TNT, LeBron James is going to have the first pick. He was voted captain of the Western Conference All-Stars. Giannis Antetokounmpo was voted captain of the Eastern Conference. Who will or who should LeBron pick first?
For me,
Steph Curry.
Ooh.
Okay.
I would say Steph Curry.
I would go KD.
KD. I would say Steph Curry.
I would go KD. You know, LeBron likes to buddy you up a little bit.
He do. Maybe try to get him to L.A.
Yeah.
That might be a way to try to get him to L.A.
Talk to him, tell him, hey, take it easy on me if I see you in the playoffs. You know, hey, come to L.A.
Why not use it to your advantage and say, hey, come play alongside me, see what that looks like, what that feels
It
like.
could be.
Maybe Kawhi too.
Maybe too. Yes.
Hey, time to do some recruiting. LBJ's the best at it.
It's a lot of buddy ball going on.
NBA is AAU now, baby. Team up and play together.
After the break, the highlights continue on this 5-game Saturday night in the NBA. Game time. There's more of it next.
So wasn't this the one of the best chance for you to win?
I mean, the second quarter spurt that he went on really hurt us. You know, I wish we were all inactive on our 24-point games. I mean, he's unbelievable, and when he went on that run, you know, it was three threes off relocating, which he does better than anybody in the league. Probably 1B is Thompson. They both do it better than anybody in the league. And then, you know, lost him in transition, I believe, once, maybe off of an offensive rebound. The bottom line is they were all four where we just needed to be more alert to them, and we, you know, let our guard down even for a split second. And they made us pay all night when we did that. When we made errors on offense, they made us pay. When we made errors on defense, they made us pay. So yeah, I thought our guys played really hard. We just, you know, you gotta lock down all of your controllables to have a chance to beat this team.
Brad, you guys obviously had a lot of looks there in the closing minute. What did you think of the shots you guys got there and just how that all unfolded?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't. There's some confusion on the baseline out of bounds play, and with 19 seconds left, and I knew we had a timeout, and I was waiting to actually. Once it went into Tatum, and I saw him posting there, I actually felt pretty good about the look we were ultimately going to get, and I thought we got a great look. But I was going to use a timeout if need be on that moment if it didn't feel like we were getting anywhere with that. I probably would have had to run down there to use it, but that's part of it. But then, you know, we had a couple of possessions that didn't go our way, but we also had a couple of really good looks.
And how tough is it just to gauge, you know, when do you, obviously you have one timeout there, like how tough is it just to win?
Well, I mean, I would usually give ourselves a chance to execute in that position, and then you can always burn the timeout, you know, at 12 seconds instead of 19. So generally, I'd like to see if we can generate a good look first, and we did. We didn't necessarily run anything that we were not on the same page what we were running, but I thought they played with great poise. They threw it into Tatum, and Tatum swung it across the court, threw the double team to Morris, and I mean, how many times has Morris hit that shot for us? So I felt really good about that look that we got.
Coach, there were like 3 loose possessions in the middle of the fourth quarter just before Kyrie hit the 3 to get you back in. Is that what you mean, that you can't make mistakes against those guys?
The whole game, I thought they just really capitalized when there was that opportunity to do so, and credit them for that. I mean, when those guys come down the court and, you know, you make even the smallest of error, they take advantage of you. And but I thought, you know, Kyrie was tremendous again, and I thought you know, again, all of their guys were awfully good.
What did you think of the effort on the offensive glass? You guys had more than 20 second chance points.
Yeah, I thought, well, and I thought even though Terry, you know, only shot 4 times all night, I thought him going to the glass those couple of times really helped us. I thought a bunch of guys did that. When they're doing all that switching, that's one way to be more impactful and more effective is on the offensive glass. And I thought Al was really good tonight on both ends of the court, and you know, gave us a chance there. Morris got to the glass, so you know, but it wasn't quite enough.
Coach, knowing that this game has so much attention nationally coming in, what does it mean for the team going forward just to have gone toe-to-toe with the Warriors like this?
You know, I think we came in and we expected to win. So we need to get better so that we can have a better chance of winning that game. we have the last few years, and today we didn't.
Draymond with the offensive rebound of his own missed free throw. It looked like Marcus Smart slipped, but whose responsibility is that there?
Marcus went in to get in front of the shooter. He slipped. Slips happen. I feel bad for him. He felt bad, but that's part of it. That was just unfortunate.
You mentioned kind of not having a chance to, or not being able to make mistakes and low capitalize. You guys didn't score for like 5 minutes at the end of the third, but then you're down only 5 or 6.
Start of the second, end of the third, both were very impactful, I thought. You know, Curry getting those 4 threes was huge at the start of the second, because he hasn't really done much up until that point. He hasn't seen the ball go through the net, and he isn't feeling like the rim's an ocean right now. And then he bang, 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 changes that very quickly. And then at the end of the third, our inability to score on those possessions was hurtful. But that's the margin for error you're dealing with against this team, and that's just part of it. And that's why it's good to learn what you have to get better at.
Brad, just in those final minutes you had a couple of ISO situations where you'd been moving the ball so well. Is it frustrating to watch that when, you know, the instinct is to, let me just try to do this myself?
No. I mean, I think that's part of it. And part of it is how they challenge you. When they sub, they go small, they switch everything. Becomes a lot harder to generate that stuff. And we just talked about, you know, Marcus Morris's 3. That was really good recognition by our team to get the ball side to side off of a double team. And but no, that's you know, we've won a lot of games in that way too. So, you know, we'll go back and look and see if we could have done something different. But I will say this: it becomes a lot harder to move it late against them with their switching and when they go super small with Iguodala and Green.
The Celtics' 5-game win streak comes to an end as the Warriors improve upon their season-best, now 10 wins in a row with a 115-111 win. Let's hear from Coach Steve Kerr after the game.
What kind of fight did it take to win this one?
It took 48 minutes. Our guys competed. We did everything we needed to do. We fought like crazy on defense. I thought DeMarcus's defense on those high pick and rolls was great. That was a big boost to us. Bench came in, did a good job. It's a great win against one of the best teams in the league on the road in that atmosphere, so it was exciting.
It seemed like playoff level intensity in terms of the defensive side of things. What does that do to benefit you guys and the Celtics potentially as well?
Well, we needed this game. You know, we've played 3 straight opponents, all decimated by injuries, and we needed to be challenged, and we were challenged big time, and could have gone either way. They missed some open looks down the stretch, but our guys fought and defended, and you know, made big free throws down the stretch. Clay made 2 big ones. Kevin made a bunch of them, so that was a great effort.
You mentioned DeMarcus' defense. They were kind of targeting him a lot throughout the game. Is it good for him to get this experience?
Yeah.
That's probably obviously going to happen with the guys this season.
Yeah, it's great for him to get this experience. We need to practice it. We play differently against pick and roll with DeMarcus than we do with our other guys. We changed the scheme a little bit, and so you know, it's not just DeMarcus getting the reps, it's all of our guys, you know, trying something a little different and being physical and trying to defend without fouling. DeMarcus has quick hands and quick feet, you know. He's not the fastest sprinter up and down the floor, but laterally he is really quick. He's got incredibly long arms, and he gets a lot of steals in there in traffic, and tonight I thought that was key. Just he just needs to play. I mean, he's always been a high foul guy, just his style of play. But you got to remember, this is like training camp for him. You know, he's been playing for a week, you know, maybe 9 days, I think. So DeMarcus needs more reps, more conditioning, and he'll start playing more foul-free minutes.
Did you go with the lineup that had him and Looney just because they were kind of filling you on the glass?
We just did it for, a couple minutes. We went to Andre down the stretch for the last 3 minutes. I think we had Looney. Are you talking about Looney and DeMarcus?
Yeah.
That's a good lineup for us. We like that. That's something that we'll go to more. I mean, Looney's one of our best defenders, and you know, DeMarcus likes playing with another big, and So it's a more defensive-oriented lineup with Loon out there. So that's something we'll do more of.
What were you able to do defensively down the stretch to create the turnovers with Kyrie and Al? Obviously, they like that action at the top of the key. It seemed like you're able to disrupt that.
Just tried to be as aggressive as we could without fouling, and very physical game. But I thought Clay really did a good job on Kyrie, trying to get over screens and stay with him and not reach. And they did a good job of that. And then our big guys helped and did a good job. And then we finished up by getting rebounds. So it's a really solid defensive finish.
Are you concerned? This Indiana triple team almost like a trap game.
Seems like it'll be what? A trap? Yeah.
Do you expect the guys to come ready?
Why don't we talk about that in a couple of days? We'll enjoy this tonight.
Hey, Steve, what do you think was key for the guys to get trips to the foul line tonight?
Excuse me?
What do you think was key for the guys to get trips to the foul line?
Just being aggressive. I thought Kevin set a great tone for us. When he's attacking like that, that's when our team is at its best. And he's the one guy on our team who can really create an advantage out of nothing, get downhill, and cause a lot of havoc. I mean, we got other guys who can make some plays, but Kevin can be dominant in that fashion. And I think when he does that, that's when we're at our best.
Last game, you weren't happy with the turnovers and the fast break points. Did you feel you guys adjust that a little bit?
Yeah, much better transition defense. We might have missed one or two box outs, but for the most part, we rebounded well. And this game was intense. It felt like a playoff game, and that's when our guys rise to the occasion. So they competed the whole way through.
Great and ask Steve about